and let's get it. So, Nasjia Barton. I was really excited to interview you because in a short time period, you have accomplished a lot. And I can sit here and read all of your stats, but that will take the entire interview. So just to name a few of your stats. Graduated top 10 of her class in high school, was a dancer, played volleyball, and you go to A&T as an industrial engineer. So my first question to you is, who is Nasjia Barton?
Nasjia is a very intelligent and beautiful young lady who is very ambitious and goal-driven, God-fearing, and has a very close relationship with her mother, which is really her world.
Okay. 2 points that you made. Close relationship with your mother, and you made a God-fearing point. I'm going to touch on both points, but I want to touch on God-fearing first. Would you consider yourself a religious type of person or a spiritual type of person?
I would consider myself spiritual, and I would consider God-fearing because a lot has happened in my life that I don't really touch on or people don't know about, but I feel like the only thing or only person who's got me through is God and being a Christian. And as far as the mother question...
Oh, we're going to get to that, trust me. Okay, a God-fearing person who's had accomplished a lot and been through a lot. So I want to talk about your childhood. We're going to figure out who you really are. We're going to start with the childhood and we're going to go all through your life. All right, so let's where it all began. Where were you born?
I was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Born and raised?
Sometimes I visit Michigan where my family's from, but majority raised in Atlanta.
Okay. So give me a rundown of the environment that you grew up in. Were you like a daddy's girl who grew up in the suburbs, or were you like surviving off of like sardines in the ghetto? Like,
definitely a suburban girl. I grew up with my mom. It was just me and my mom always in the household. Most of my family is from Michigan, so I didn't grow up in like a really family-oriented household. But my mom, being the only person that was close to me or there for me, she made sure that I've always had that love and support as if I was surrounded by a lot of family.
Okay, so you grew up in a single-parent household?
Yes.
The mom held you down?
Yes.
Where was your dad?
He was in Michigan, still is, but they had me when they were young, and I guess, just trying to grow up and raise a child, and then being from distance, it was kind of hard. I don't think it's an excuse, but he's been in Michigan.
Okay. And do you have any siblings?
No, only child.
Only child, single parent household. Okay. So I asked this question because I want to know where your drive comes from. And, you're this go-getter, engineer, top 10 of her class in high school. I want to know, where did this drive even come from?
So when I answered the question of who is Nasjia, I mentioned my mom because that's who gave me that drive, gave me that ambition, and really helped shape me to be the woman I am today. So it really came from my mom and just seeing her go get everything that she needed for me and more. She never told me no or I can't, or, even if the circumstances was unfortunate, my mom never let me see her down, or she always seen me with that go-getter mindset. So that's really where my drive and ambition come from.
Okay, shout out to the moms. All right, so you attend North Carolina A&T. What is your major?
My major is industrial and systems engineering.
And that's a mouthful. What do you plan on doing with industrial engineering?
Ideally, I would work through construction or commercial management, but I do plan on being a product or project manager.
A project manager. What is that like?
A project manager is one who oversees like various engineering products or projects, and this could range from even in Atlanta, we have new industrial lights that they made up on the street lights that includes cameras for like safety. So it could be something as similar to that, or it can go into like architecture, which is like new designs of elevators or stairs or anything engineering related.
Okay, you seem to have it going on, like I want to know, just pick one synonym to describe yourself. Like, if you can pick one word to describe
Optimistic.
yourself. Optimistic. And why?
I would say I'm very optimistic because, life is full of obstacles, but it's all about how you end and not how you start. So as long as I have a strong finish on everything that I want and accomplish in life, then the obstacles don't really matter.
Okay. That kind of plays in with how you're driven, too. Okay. You said something about obstacles, right? So I want to play into that. Me, I love a good comeback story.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, have you faced any obstacles in your life
Yes.
that almost took you out, but you had to overcome them?
Yes.
I have a blood condition called aplastic anemia, which played a very big part and role in my life. It was really behind the scenes, so no one really knew, but there was times that I missed school for weeks. I've been in the ICU with it. It's really severe. It's a blood condition, so of course anything with blood related is severe because of course you need blood to live. But I never let that back down from anything. There were times that I was a dancer in high school. There was a time my doctor told me I couldn't dance. Still went out and danced. Definitely was a challenge, even from running or actually getting to dance. But that was one obstacle that mentally and physically kind of damaged me. But I never let that get in the way of anything.
So what is it called again?
Aplastic anemia.
Plastic anemia.
It's similar to sickle cell, but sickle cell is more of like pain and hurt, and aplastic anemia is not. It's just a severe blood disorder where your blood levels fluctuate. So without you even knowing, there's no symptoms for it. So sometimes you can wake up and have a lot of blood, sometimes you don't. So that's the dangerous part about it.
Okay. How did you know that you had this? Did you wake up one morning and you felt weird and you went to the doctor? How did that go?
I actually was at school, I think in kindergarten. I was diagnosed when I was 5. And I was at school and I was bleeding, I think, and maybe just a cut, just bleeding. And then I start throwing up blood and just more and more and more. And my mom was at work at the time. And the school had to rush me to the hospital where they did several tests. And at first it came back as like leukemia. And then after like a couple of days, it was aplastic anemia.
So this condition is serious. It seems like it can really take someone out of this world. And you, being the go-getter you are, you still have all your accomplishments. That is amazing. I wanna go into your ride or die, your mom. Your relationship seems to be really good with your mom. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did this relationship form?
I think this relationship really formed because when you grow with someone, and it's a different level of a motherhood and daughter friendship, or even motherhood and relationship. My mom had me at a very young age, so we were able to grow together individually as people and then together as one, since that was the source and form of family that I had and I was the source and form of family that she had. So the relationship bonded just from like things that we went through individually or together. We had to really rely on one another for love and support.
Okay, that kind of plays into my next question. I want to know the hardships of being raised without a father in your life, with being raised with a single mother. For people who've maybe never experienced that, like what hardships have you gone through?
So I wouldn't say that I've necessarily went through hardships as far as living arrangements or like being raised, because my mom was able to provide and really show me everything that she felt as if I was missing out. I think the hardship with me would be being such an independent woman. Since my mom raised me to where like I don't need anyone, since she kind of wanted me to know I don't need a father. Growing up now, I've kind of like seen that it's very hard for people, even guys, that want a relationship or, even anyone just want to come in my life. It's very hard for me to back down from that, since I've just been so I don't need anyone. So growing up, coming into college, I've actually realized, okay, yes, I didn't really miss out on anything or had any real big hardship in my life, but I did think that the absence of my father was more so mentally a hardship for me, because I thought I didn't care or I didn't need anyone, but coming to college, I realized like maybe I did. Maybe it does have an effect on relationships or guys or just me as a person.
Okay, so shout out to moms again for holding you down. All right, so I want to lighten things up a little bit. We've been a little deep. Let's put some as they call Vaseline on it. All right, so I want to know if you were given $10 million. Someone just came in here and gave you $10 million. After this interview, with a briefcase full of money, tax-free, what are you going to do with this money?
So first, I would definitely put myself first in school and make sure all of that is covered. Even going to like grad school, I haven't decided if I want to or not with my major, but I'll definitely make sure that all the financial aid and all that stuff is taken care of. And then I would definitely take care of my mom. I know I've mentioned a lot about her in this interview, but any way or anything that she needs, whether she wants a new car or a new house, I would make sure she's settled. She also have an upcoming business. I would put money back into her business. She's done a lot for me, from styling or directing videos or things that I've done growing up. So I would definitely want to make sure that she has a successful business. And I'll pretty much probably stack the rest until I find like ways to give back, whether that be my school, community, or even like where I'm from.
Okay, there was a lot of giving in there. Let's go on. So I guess let's break it down. So 1 million to yourself. 3 million to the moms. Like, give me some numbers.
We can do like however much school will cost. We'll give school maybe like, we'll give $1 million to the side just for school. Anything related for school from now until grad, even until going into like moving on my own after all school. I'll give we can give 3 million to the mom. I'm not really selfish and she's done a lot. We'll give her 3 million. We'll definitely put aside, just for emergency funds or savings, about a good 5 million. And then ways to give back, whether that be community, school, people, about $1 million.
So what caught my attention was a few things. You want to continue school. You're a multi-millionaire, and you said, "Hey, I'm not going to drop out."
I think education is always power. People think that money is, and if you have money, then you can do anything, which could go both ways. But I'm a very smart young lady. I will always want to continue my education, so I would still go to school with all of that money. Money to me isn't everything, so I definitely would rather have my school education because your knowledge and your power can't be taken away, but money can.
Okay, since you got 10 million, and you didn't drop out of college, so you would still go the industrial route of having a job, or would you try to do entrepreneur stuff like?
With that type of money, I probably would go into entrepreneurship and not just business related, but incorporating engineering is that as well. So I mentioned I want to be a product or a project manager. So I'll probably start my own engineering firm, where I can hire people, of course, and go straight into being the project manager or product manager that I always wished to be. So that would just help put me on a different level of entrepreneurship, including engineering, but I will always make sure that I have my education still here first.
Okay. Another interesting thing was you chose engineering. That is not what normal is, what I want to say. People don't just wake up and say, "I just want to be an engineer," especially females.
Right.
So, with you being a female in tech, what factored into that decision? Did your mom play a huge role into that, or?
No, my mom is like medical field related. So growing up, I always really liked STEM, of course, math and science. And then I start to be surrounded by a lot of engineers. I have an aunt who's an engineer, and she kind of inspired me because she did so much. And I think engineering is such a broad field. You can go into different engineering fields. You can, move up, decide to go to a different company. It's always a really good way and route to go with engineering because of the flexibility. Also, I'm a critical thinker. What made me want to be more of a project manager is the way that I think and make decisions and that being a group related thing, like I love to just, make the decisions, and not just in a bossy way, but I feel like it's going to get done, it's going to get accomplished, especially working with like-minded individuals. And then aside from that, there's always going to be jobs available in that type of field, and there needs to be more black engineers, especially females. So I'm excited to take on the role of being a black female engineer.
That's very, I don't want to say inspiring, but I'll say you're deep. I'll say that because people, let's say, you could have been a nail tech or, cosmetics or whatever.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. People make a lot of money from stuff like that, but I wouldn't say I'm not the most creative or artist type of person. I'm more of like brains and then, fun. So just a way that I can incorporate having fun and enjoying what I like to do with education, that suits me best.
Okay. And I want to know, what type of girl are you? Kind of shifting gears a little bit. Are you like a boyish, or are you like a girly girl? Like, how would you describe yourself?
I would say I'm me.
I'm not a tomboy. I'm very into fashion and dressing and, getting my nails done, getting my hair done, but sometimes I can pull back from all the girly girl side. So I would say I'm me. I definitely love to dress, love to travel, and that's just some things about me. I know you mentioned like, who am I? So aside from like school and work and goals and ambition, I really do like to have fun, go out with friends, shopping, traveling, just have a good time.
All right, so you're living your best life. You have traveled a lot of places. In your story, I saw Dubai. How did traveling come about?
Traveling came about as a form of intimacy. So first, like growing up, I would go places with, of course, like my mom, just to get a different experience of the world. And then when I got older, it started to become more of like, okay, a friend thing, just like a level of intimacy. If we have a really good friendship, or maybe we should travel, go have new memories, new experiences. And it became a yearly thing around November because my mom and I share the same birthday month, and as well as some friends that I have. So we kind of made it like every year we should go on a trip for Scorpios. But it's not all about the destination. Sometimes it's about who you're going with and what you're doing. So I went to a cabin trip with my best friend, one of my best friends, last December, and I had a really good time there, and that was in like Tennessee. So it's not all about the destinations, but more so about what you're doing and who you're doing it with.
Okay, I'm going to challenge that theory of it's not all about the destinations. So we're going to do a scenario. Let's say it's your birthday and it's vacation time, yay, right? But instead of going to Dubai or Miami or somewhere exciting, you go to I don't know, let's say Alabama, in the cut, and you're staying in a two-star hotel, and dinner is McDonald's chicken wings and French fries. You said it doesn't matter about the destination, it's all about who you're with. So if that's your birthday experience, would you have a good time?
Yes and no. Yes, I will have a good time just because I'm a very fun person, and I'll probably go with fun people so we can make memories about it. But for my birthday, no. I take pride in my birthday. I love being a Scorpio, and that trip for my birthday, just no. But I wouldn't mind going on a trip to Alabama. Maybe not McDonald's for dinner, but yeah, I would go, just not for my birthday.
Okay. Sorry, McDonald's. She's not a fan. All right. Here's a fun question. I'm going to do a fun question, and then I'm going to get a little serious. So a fun question is an ideal date. The perfect date for you. Let's say someone took you out on a date. Where would you want to go? And describe that experience. Is it romantic candles on the beach? Like, just give me the whole rundown of how that night will go.
Okay, so an ideal date is actually a fun date. I don't like the movies for real, so I wouldn't want to do anything like that. And dinner is pretty typical. So I would say something really fun like Andretti's race car, riding, go-kart riding, even like a zip lining thing, something just really fun and not the ordinary. So not a movie and not a dinner. So it could be anything, just not a movie and not dinner.
Really?
It could even be skydiving and not, well, real skydiving, but of course, even like the iFly, just something unique and different will be my ideal date.
So exotic is a good word for.
Good word.
All right, exotic experience. All right, cool. So let's get into some serious things. I won't get too serious on you. Actually, yes, let's get serious. You're on Earth. Welcome to planet Earth. What is your purpose? Or have you found your purpose on Earth? And if so, what is it?
Okay, so a purpose, I think people's purpose is not their passion or what they want to do. So I, of course, want to be an engineer. That's not my purpose. I think I'm finding out my purpose now, and it's really to be the voice of the youth. I've been speaking a little bit to close friends about starting a blog. I think I'm a very deep person, and I have a lot of wisdom, even at the age of 20. So I think speaking out to the youth, because I can make a very big impact on people around me, or just, from social media, Instagram. So my purpose is to speak out on what's going on, some major problems, or, how to address or deal with certain things that's going on in my generation.
Okay. Yeah, we'll shift gears a little bit. Let's say, actually, yeah, let's ask that question. So what do you want to be remembered for when you die? So on your itinerary, people are at your funeral. What are they going to say about you?
I would want people to say that I was a very overall individual. Like, I accomplished a lot, but I had a lot of fun. I was there for people. I was me. I was unique. I think there can be a variety of things that people can say about me, but I want them to remember me as me leaving my mark. I left my mark in people's lives, in places, things, school systems. As a person, I lived up to everything that I wanted.
And what do you want?
To leave my mark.
Okay. All right. Speaking of things that you want, let's get into those goals. So what are your goals in life? I want the house goals, car goals, career goals. Give me everything.
Career goals would definitely to be an engineer. If that includes, having my own firm, that can include that. I definitely want to be mentally, financially, physically, all of that stable. So I'll even include like a big family. I never really wanted kids growing up. I think now coming into college, I do want that more of a family lifestyle. So I do want to get married, of course, and have kids. Aside from just career goals, like I mentioned a little bit about the blog, I do want to be like a motivational speaker to the youth when I get older, and I don't really talk about that, but that's something that I think shaped me into the person I am and is able to allow me to speak out, even if it's writing, because the blog is writing and I like to write about things, but not even writing, but just speaking out on that. Just really living life and having fun, and every person's definition of success is totally different. So I think for me, I would want to be successful in my own way.
All right. You jumped over the houses and the cars. Give us the house and the cars. A small apartment. What, you want a house? Like
Okay, so like graduating from college, I want to move to
California. So I would go like a condo apartment, nice, not too much, but then like having my family, I would want just, a typical 5-bedroom house, designed it my way, really nice interior. And as far as car, I wouldn't say I don't have a dream car, but I mean, any car that I want at the time.
So, if hubby buys you a Toyota Corolla, 2001, it's a little broke down, but it gets you to point A to point B. Is that car good enough for you? All right, so give me a car.
So a car that I would want, like a G-Wagon or a Jeep. I like trucks. Okay. So I'll definitely probably get me a truck.
All right, so for everyone in the Toyota Corollas, it's not good enough. I'm sorry. All right, cool. What surprised me was, people, I say goals, I hear mansion a lot, and I hear multiple houses. You said, I want to be in California with a 5-bedroom. Oh, okay.
California, just like
During my 20s or like early 30s, just for me to live my own life. I don't want a big house then. I'm just still getting out on my feet. I just want to have fun, nice little apartment for me. Upscale a little bit. We can go like condo. But like to stay and live and like build a house with my family, probably like Houston.
Really? Not Michigan or Atlanta where your family's from?
No, definitely not Atlanta.
Okay.
And not Michigan.
Why not Michigan?
I don't really have a huge connection to Michigan. Like, I feel like it's really nothing there. Like, of course, my family's there, but like for me to actually start my family, no.
And I love Houston. And Atlanta, it's just like, no, I feel like I grew up there, kind of outgrew my environment, so I want to start somewhere new. And I don't think Atlanta is a good place to raise a family.
Okay, and you chose Houston. Why Houston?
Houston, for one, has a lot of engineering jobs, so I definitely want to go somewhere that, I can work and start my career. And also, it's a really good place, I feel like, to start a family. Just in a house, especially, they're not really pricey or overpriced in Houston. And it's a good level of like a city life and a suburb life.
Okay, so earlier in the interview, you mentioned marriage. And you grew up in a single-parent household. And our generation, marriage is not a term that's thrown around a lot. So I'm curious with being grown up in a single-parent household and being in our generation, why marriage?
I think definitely growing up in a single-parent household has allowed me to want more of a family and want more of a marriage. And I know in our generation, we run from commitment or loyalty or even anything like that. And a lot of people in our generation believe like when you grow up in your family, they usually continue those traditions or like how they were growing up and stuff. But to me, I want to like break that generational curse. So for me, I grew up in a single parent household. I don't want to be a single parent. I definitely want to have a man by my side and not just like a baby daddy or baby father, a husband. So, and I've also been able to see like, yes, my mom was able to give me love, but if I grew up in a 2-parent household, then it probably would have been way more love. So I want to have my kids in a loving household.
Okay, let's keep on this topic. You mentioned husband. What are the qualities that you were looking for in a potential husband?
Definitely for one to be the man. I think a lot of times in our generation, fathers or husbands are just in the household, maybe just financially or just to be there. And that's much worse than just having an absent father. So for me, my husband, number one quality is to be a man for me and for my children, to be loving. It's okay to show emotion. A lot of men are very hard and tough. It's not a weak or soft thing to show your wife love or to show your kids love. There needs to be more men that shows love in a house. That'll help with their daughters, who knows how to accept love and not look out and offer love in the wrong places for men. And it also helps, to raise their son in a more loving way so that there's less nonchalant guys or, guys that don't really know how to express or show their love to the lady that they like. So those for me would be my top 2 qualities. And then of course, like support, fun. I want a husband that's just like me, very overall, can have fun, can be serious, can be there for his kids, can be there for his wife, and is very loving and cool.
Okay, I'm gonna get more into the structure of the household. Who's paying the bills? You're going 50-50?
So 50-50 in a way. I think my husband
Husband should pay all of the big bills. I think that's what a man is supposed to do, take care of the household. And then I could pay the small ones. We can get a phone bill in there. We can get TV, Wi-Fi. That can be like on me, groceries maybe on me. But I think the man should definitely take care of the household as far as big bills, mortgage, stuff like that. And even nice gestures like filling up cars, I think should be on a man with like gas.
Okay, so future husband, you're gonna have to 50-50 rule is not gonna work over here. And the Toyota Corolla 2001, it's not gonna work as a birthday present. All right. All right, so 10 years from now, what can we expect from you? Are you living in your mansion? Well, actually, no mansion for you. What, you throwing parties with Drake and 10, like?
Okay.
10 years, I'll be about 30. I'll probably be very stable in my career. Probably be leaving California. We can go for engagement around 30. I don't think that's too young, especially for me. I know what I want. We're not going to mention any kids just yet. I definitely want to enjoy the engagement and the marriage portion with my husband first before bringing in kids and starting a family. You can expect for me to be 30, moving to Houston. Definitely have my business or whatever I would like to impact the youth, whether that be community service or speaking out. Like I said, my career, I'll pretty much be stable. I'll be able to move to Houston, and I'll probably be building a house with my fiance.
All right, so if you can give advice to your younger self, what would you tell yourself?
That's a good question. If I could give advice to my younger self, I think it would be like, it's okay to face reality and to go through things. You know, you're not going to be perfect. It's a part of life. It's a part of growing up. And it's okay to tap into that softer or, sad side, because life is not always peaches and cream. And I think growing up, I always thought everything was supposed to be perfect, or it was supposed to be this, or if I don't get this, then I'm a failure. And I think I needed to just know it's okay, breathe, take your time, and everything's going to come when it's supposed to. Perfect time.
So the message to yourself is it's okay not to be perfect.
Yes.
And why would you tell yourself that? Were you Miss Perfect growing up?
I think people looked at me as being this perfect little girl, or, she always did really great things, and I think for myself, it made me feel like if I didn't accomplish things or if I didn't do what I said I was going to do, then I'm a failure. And now I'm more like, everything happens for a reason. So if anything didn't work out, it wasn't meant to work out. But when I was younger, I just thought the world was over when something didn't go my way.
All right, so Nasjia Barton. She is world traveler, engineer, someone who's humble, who's giving. You had a question there. You just want to give to your mom. So I'll call you certified mama's girl. Who doesn't like eating at McDonald's, and she doesn't want a Toyota Corolla for a car. What's next for you? You're a sophomore in college. What can we expect?
Right now, since I really just changed my major over from computer science, I'm starting to get really deep. I'm a sophomore. It's not too late to, change my major, but I want to make sure that I really lock into this new major. I know this is what I want and this is my future. So right now, I'm just really focusing on diving deep into my major, gaining more internships and opportunities, even shadowing someone, and just really getting serious and focused with my major. That's for me right now. So you can expect maybe a new internship in the summer, whether it be Amazon again or someone else, or you can just expect to hear more things related to just engineering for right now.
And more fire pictures from your mom on Instagram.
Definitely.
Shout out to the moms. All right, cool.